I buried Sarah today under a sky the color of lead, her casket lowered into the earth like a secret we all wished we could forget. As the first shovelful of dirt thudded against the wood, her sister Vanessa leaned in close, her breath hot against my ear, and hissed, "Pack your bags by morning, Everly. This house was never yours." But what none of them knew, what I'd guarded like a loaded gun pressed to my temple, was that Sarah's death wasn't an accident, and the blood on my hands wasn't from holding her as she slipped away. It was from the lie I'd swallowed whole to protect them all. That whisper from Vanessa hit harder than the preacher's eulogy, which had painted Sarah as some flawless saint, wife, mother, pillar of our sleepy Connecticut suburb. Bullshit. Sarah was fire and ash, the kind of woman who could light up a room or burn it down without blinking. We'd met in college, back when I was a broke engineering major scraping by on ramen and dreams of Silicon Valley, and she was the poli-sci firebrand protesting tuition hikes outside the dean's office. She wore combat boots with sundresses, quoted Audre Lorde like scripture, and laughed like she was daring the world to take a swing. I fell hard, married her on a whim in a Vegas chapel because, why the hell not? We were 22, invincible. Our life in Elmwood was the American dream on a budget. Split-level ranch house with a mortgage that nipped at our heels. 2 kids, Lila, 8, with Sarah's wild curls, and Max, 5, all gangly limbs and my crooked grin. I commuted to Hartford, debugging code for a defense contractor, while Sarah freelanced as a graphic designer, her real passion funneled into community theater. We weren't rich, but we had barbecues in the backyard, Friday night pizza runs to Gino's, and sex that still felt like stealing fire from the gods. Until it didn't. The cracks started small, like hairline fractures in a windshield. Sarah working late on deadlines that smelled like bourbon and cologne. My promotion stalling while hers skyrocketed. Suddenly she was consulting for big firms, pulling in 6 figures. I'd come home to empty bottles in the recycling, her phone buzzing with texts she silenced too quick. "It's nothing, Ev," she'd say, rolling her eyes, but her touch grew cooler, like she'd already checked out. Then came the night that shattered everything. It was a Tuesday in July, heat wave turning our AC into a wheezing joke. I got home early from a site visit, arms full of groceries for her favorite fresh lobster rolls from the market. The house was dark, but her car was in the drive. Upstairs, the bedroom door ajar, and there they were, Sarah, naked on our bed, tangled with him. Not just any him, Detective Harlan Crow, Elmwood PD's golden boy, the guy who'd pulled me over once for a busted taillight and let me off with a warning because neighbors gotta look out. I froze in the doorway, bags slipping from my numb fingers, the thud of them hitting the floor louder than my heartbeat. They didn't hear it first. Sarah arched like a cat in heat, moaning his name. Harlan's badge tossed careless on the nightstand like a discarded condom wrapper. When she saw me, her eyes widened. Not in shame, but calculation. "Everly," she gasped, pulling the sheet up like it could cover the rot. Harlan bolted upright, fumbling for his gun belt, face paling to the color of overcooked shrimp. "Get out," I said, voice flat as a dead phone line. No yelling, no fists. Just those 2 words, echoing in the sudden silence. Harlan dressed in a blur, muttering apologies that tasted like bile, and slunk out the back door like the rat he was. Sarah stayed, wrapping herself in my robe, the one I'd bought her for Christmas. "It's not what you think," she started, the oldest lie in the book. But I cut her off. "Don't. Just don't." We didn't talk that night. Or the next. She slept on the couch. I took the bed, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, replaying the scene like a glitchy loop. By morning, the kids were at summer camp, oblivious, and Sarah sat me down at the kitchen table, coffee steaming between us like a peace offering. "Harlan's been helping me with something," she said, eyes pleading. "Something big. The firm's been laundering money, kickbacks from contractors. I found out, and it just happened. Laundering. Jesus. Our life built on dirty cash?" I laughed, bitter as black brew. "And you thought fucking the cop was the fix?" She winced but pressed on. I need you to take the fall, Ev. Just this once. Harlan can plan evidence, make it look like you skimmed from your job at the contractor. You'll do a year, maybe less with good behavior. We'll pay off the house, send the kids to college. Be heroes. Take the fall. For her. For us. The words hung there, toxic as carbon monoxide. I should have walked then, filed for divorce, exposed the whole rotten mess. But Sarah. God, she was my weakness. The woman who'd tattooed my initials on her ribcage, who'd held me through my mom's cancer scare. And the kids. Lila's finger paints taped to the fridge, Max's Lego empires on the living room floor. Ruin them? No. So I nodded, throat tight. 1 year, I whispered. Then we're square. It was a blur after that. Harlan's anonymous tip to my boss, the audit that uncovered discrepancies, funds I'd supposedly funneled to offshore accounts. The arrest in my office, cuffs cold against my wrists, colleagues staring like I'd grown horns. Sarah at my side for the plea hearing, tears streaming, playing the devastated wife to the judge. He's a good man, Your Honor. A father. This was a mistake. 6 months, suspended sentence, community service. Harlan pulled strings, made it light. But the stain stuck. Fired from my job, blackballed in the industry. We sold the house to cover fines. Moved to a rental in the next town over. Sarah's career boomed. Mine cratered into gig work, fixing neighbors' routers for beer money. I swallowed it all, for her. For the family. But resentment festers, doesn't it? Like mold in the walls you ignore until the whole place collapses. Sarah and Harlan kept at it, settler now, late meetings. Her laugh carrying from the garage when she thought I was asleep. Vanessa knew, of course. Sarah's big sister, the family enforcer, lawyer with a corner office in Stamford, always in pearls and power suits. She'd corner me at holidays, eyes like scalpels. You gonna man up, Everly, or keep playing house on her dime? Vanessa hated me from day one, called me the help behind my back, said Sarah deserved better than a tech nerd with daddy issues. My old man bailed when I was 10. Yeah, she weaponized that. But after the scandal, her disdain sharpened to venom. She bankrolled Sarah's rise, funneled clients her way, covered the tracks. And when Sarah started talking divorce, whispered on a wine-soaked night, I love you, Ev, but this isn't working, I knew the endgame. Harlan's promotion to sergeant, a ring in his pocket. Clean break. Then Sarah got sick. Ovarian cancer, stage 3, aggressive as a summer storm. Chemo turned her skeletal, her fire dimmed to embers. I nursed her through it, for drips at dawn, holding back her hair as she retched, reading her bad poetry when pain kept her awake. The kids clung to me, Lila drawing get-well cards with crayons that bled color like hope. Harlan vanished early on. Work conflicts. Vanessa swooped in with casseroles and legal advice, but her eyes on me? Pure ice. Don't think this buys you anything, she'd mutter. Sarah rallied, briefly. Remission's cruelties. We had months, almost normal. Family dinners, walks in the park where leaves turned gold like second chances. She even apologized, one night curled against me, breath fragile as moth wings. I dragged you into hell, Ev. Forgive me? I did or tried. Love's a stubborn weed. But remission cracked. Mets to the liver, then lungs. Hospice came home. The last week, she was a ghost in our bed, morphine dreams mumbling Harlan's name. I held her hand as monitors flatlined, the room thick with the scent of wilted lilies. I love you. I lied, because what else do you say? Her eyes fluttered shut, and she was gone. The funeral was a circus of hypocrisy. Elmwood First Methodist, pews packed with Sarah's colleagues, design execs in designer black, whispering about her legacy. Harlan up front, eyes red-rimmed, playing the grieving lover like Olivier. The kids flanked me, Lila's hands sweaty in mine, Max kicking the kneeler. Vanessa orchestrated it all. The program, the flowers, the open bar at the reception. She cornered me by the casket, her Chanel perfume cloying as formaldehyde. She's free now, she said, voice low. And so are we. Pack your bags, Everly. The house reverts to the estate, my estate as executor. You're out by morning. The audacity. After I'd shouldered their sins, wiped their asses through the fallout. The guests milled, oblivious, clinking glasses to Sarah's spirit. I stared at Vanessa, her Botox smooth face twisting into a smirk. You think you can just think? She laughed, sharp as shattered glass. You were dead weight, Everly. Sarah pitied you. Harlan pitied you. Even I did for a while. But pity's expensive. Go. Something snapped then, not loud, but deep, like a fault line shifting under Elmwood's manicured lawns. I nodded, calm as a loaded chamber. As you wish. Turned to the kids, crouched low.
Hey, monsters.
Daddy's got a plan. Pack your toothbrushes. We're going on an adventure. They blinked, confused, but trusted me. Lila grabbed her stuffed owl, Max's fire truck. As we slipped out the side door, rain starting to spit from the gray, I felt it, the weight lifting, replaced by something colder, sharper. Vengeance. Not the movie's blood-soaked kind. No, this would be surgical, American as apple pie a la mode with arsenic. I'd buried Sarah. But today, I buried the man they thought they knew. We drove west on I-84, wipers slapping rhythm like a metronome to my rage. The rental van I'd borrowed from a buddy, empty, anonymous, plates from Jersey. Kids in the back, munching goldfish, chattering about the adventure. Are we running away like in Mommy's stories? Lila asked, big eyes mirrors of Sarah's. Something like that, kiddo. I glanced in the rear view, Hartford's skyline shrinking. First stop, a storage unit in Danbury, where I'd stashed the evidence. Not much, a thumb drive with Sarah's emails to Harlan, bank transfers masked as consulting fees. Photos from a PI I'd hired on the sly after the divorce whisper started. Nothing explosive, but enough to crack their facade. I'd planned this, see. Not after the funeral, no. Seeds planted months back, when Sarah's cough turned wet and Vanessa's visits grew frequent. Paranoia? Maybe. But instinct's a survival tool, honed in boardrooms and bedrooms. The drive took 2 hours, rain thickening to a downpour, thunder rumbling like God's own disapproval. Pulled into the unit at dusk, neon sign flickering secure self-storage like a bad omen. Inside, amid boxes of forgotten Christmas ornaments and kid bikes, the safe. Combo my wedding date. Ironic as hell. Drive out, plugged into my laptop on the folding table. Files bloomed. Sarah's confession email to Harlan. Ev's taking the hit. Wire the bonus to the Caymans. Screenshots of Vanessa's wire instructions from her firm, laundering the laundered. And the kicker. Audio from that night I walked in, Harlan's voice post-coitus, casual as weather. Vanessa says play him like a fiddle. He'll fold. I copied it all to a burner cloud, emailed to a journalist contact from my old job. Guy owed me a favor after I debugged his kid's Minecraft mod. Anonymous tip, the subject line read. Elmwood's finest, corruption, affair, frame job. Hit send, heart pounding like bass at a Metallica show. Kids asleep in the van, blankies tucked. I sat there, rain drumming the roof, and let the grief hit proper, no audience, no performance. Sarah, you bitch. You genius. You broke me, rebuilt me in your image. Tears came hot, mixing with snot, ugly as sin. But beneath? Resolve, cold as the grave. Dawn broke foggy, us rolling into New York, horns blaring welcome. Dropped the kids at a daycare in Queens, prepaid, fake name Uncle Ray. Be good. I kiss their heads. Daddy's fixing things. Back by lunch. Lied again. Next, a cyber cafe in Midtown, VPN up, diving deep. Harlan socials, boasting his sergeant stripes, fishing trips with the squad. Vanessa's LinkedIn, proud executor of beloved sister's estate. Linked it all. Posts timestamped to cover-ups, geotags tying them to the scam sites. By noon, the story broke. My journalist pal, hungry for clicks, splashed it on a local rags site. Affair, embezzlement, wrongful conviction? Elmwood's Scandal Rock suburb. Quotes from sources. Drive links embedded. Phones lit up, mind burner, buzzing anonymous tips pouring in. Harlan's precinct, swarmed by feds. Vanessa's firm, audits incoming. I watched from a diner stool, eggs congealing, as the TV overhead looped the chaos. Cop cars at our old house, reporters shoving mics at a stone-faced Vanessa. "This is libel," she snarled, pearls clutched like rosaries. Harlan, cuffed on his porch, mugshot glare pure cornered animal. Picked up the kids, ice cream bribes. Adventures on. I grinned, masking the hollow. Drove south, toward DC, new start, new names. But as we crossed the GW bridge, my real phone, the one I'd left in the unit, GPS traceable, pinged a text from an unknown. "You think this ends it? We made you, Everly. We'll unmake you." Vanessa. Or Harlan. Didn't matter. The game flipped. They weren't done scheming. I'd just lit the fuse. The drive to DC felt like fleeing a forest fire, smoke of my old life choking the rear view. Kids dozed in booster seats, oblivious to the inferno I'd ignited. Lila murmured in sleep, "Mommy's coming home," and it gutted me worse than any blade. Sarah wasn't coming back, not the version they remembered anyway. The saint? Fiction. The villain? Closer. But hell, weren't we all? We holed up in a Motel 6 off I-95, Arlington side, peeling paint, vending machine sodas warm as bathwater. Checked in as the Millers, cash only, no ID. While the kids finger-painted with complimentary crayons on napkins, I fired up the laptop, news feeds a frenzy. National pickup now, CNN ticker scrolling, Connecticut corruption probe widens. My tipster work, solid. Feds raiding Vanessa's office, boxes of files carted out under floodlights. Harlan and Holding, lawyers circling like a shark in chum. But the texts kept coming, burner swapped twice already. "You left the kids? Monster. We'll get custody. Your record seals it." Vanessa style, legal voodoo. I blocked, but doubt crept in, cold fingers on my spine. Was this revenge or ruin? Sarah's ghost whispered both. Night fell heavy, neon buzzing outside like angry bees. Tucked the kids in, their breaths sinking to the AC's hum. I stepped out for air, chain-smoking Camels under the sodium lamps. That's when the Crown Vic rolled up, slow, headlights cutting fog like accusations. Plate, Connecticut. Heart slammed. Door creaked, not Harlan, but his partner, Detective Ruiz, the Latino guy with the mustache and perpetual coffee stain. "Everly," he called, hands visible, no gun draw. "We need to talk." I tensed but out the cig. "About what?" "Your boss's side hustle?" He chuckled, dry as desert wind. "Harlan's toast. But you're in the soup too, accessory after the fact obstruction. Walked in on the affair, knew the scam, took the plea. Feds want statements. Bluff or trap?" I leaned on the van, casual. "New? Sure." "Said nothing?" "Yeah, for family." "But you?" "Covered for him how many times?" Ruiz shrugged, eyes shadowed. "Badge makes you blind. Or complicit. Look, off record." Harlan flipped on Vanessa. "Says she masterminded. Pushed Sarah into the laundering to fund her campaign." "Campaign?" "Vanessa running for DA, announced last spring. Sarah was the weak link, you the patsy. Harlan claims you threatened him post-funeral. Vengeance tour, or some shit." "Leet." "I'd ghosted him. But seeds of doubt. Harlan, the flip-flopper, cutting deals to save his ass. And you? Here to cuff me, or cut a deal?" "Neither." "Warning. Vanessa's got pull, judges in pocket, PIs on your tail. Kids make you vulnerable. Bail now, disappear clean. Or fight, and watch it all burn twice as hot." He slipped me a card, unmarked, number scrawled. "Call if you flip the script." Drove off, taillights fading into the night. Inside, I bolted the door, paranoia spiking. Armed the kids with stories, pirates versus ninjas, till they crashed. Then, deep dive, Vanessa's campaign site, donor lists fat with contractor names. Cross-referenced with Sarah's files. Payoffs, quid pro quo. Bigger than embezzlement. Political machine greased on public dime. Slept in fits. Dreams of Sarah's casket cracking open, her hand reaching out, nails bloody. Woke to Lila's fever. 102, cough rattling like loose change. Pharmacy run at dawn. Pedialyte and Motrin, her tiny form curled against me. "Daddy, are we bad?" she whispered, eyes fever bright. "No, baby. We're survivors."
But the word tasted like ash.
Phoned Ruiz's number from a payphone across the lot. "What's the play?" "Meet me. Neutral ground. Arlington Mall, noon. Bring proof. I'll bring leverage." Leverage. American as plea bargains. We geared up. Kids to a mall play area, me to the food court, thumb drive in pocket. Ruiz waited by the pretzel stand, plain clothes, coffee in hand. Slid into a booth, families chattering around us, like white noise. "You look like hell," he said, passing a Danish. "Kids okay?" "Fever. But alive." Handed over the drive. Vanessa's donor logs, tied to the laundering. Sarah's emails. Enough to bury her DA run. He skimmed files on his phone, whistled low. "This is nuclear." Harlan's deal was immunity for her head. "But he's hedging, says you'll testify against him too." "Testify? After he framed me?" Rage bubbled hot. "He fucked my wife, Ruiz. On our bed. Then pinned his dirt on me."
Ruiz nodded. "Masta's stoiching."
"Seen worse. But family? Messy. Vanessa's spinning it. You're unstable. Kidnapped the kids post-funeral. Amber alert brewing."
Kidnapped.
The word landed like a sucker punch. My flight, their eviction. Twisted into villainy. "What's your angle?" "Clean slate. Testify, get expunged. Walk away with the kids, new life witness protection style. Or go rogue, and you're the monster in the headlines." Choice. System's mercy, or my own justice. Sarah's voice echoed. "Take the fall, Ev. For us." But us was dead. I pocketed the drive copy. "Gimme time." He left. I scooped the kids, Lila perkier on meds, Max demanding carousel rides. Rode the horses in circles, painted ponies bobbing, their laughter a brief sunbreak. But circling too. My thoughts, vicious loops. Vanessa's texts escalated. "Give back my niece and nephew," or "face hell." Harlan's lawyer emailing from a spoof. "Settle out of court, $50K and non-disclosure." Bought Burner 3, routed through Tor. Dug deeper. Forums, dark web whispers. Turns out, Sarah's cancer? Not random. Harlan's old partner, a doc, hushed records, possible exposure to toxins from a botched raid on a chem lab, covered up. Vanessa's firm defended the city, buried the suit. Sarah collateral, poison slow. Rage crystallized. Not accident, negligence, maybe murder by omission. I drafted the leak. Anonymous post to a whistleblower site, docs attached. Elmwood PD toxin cover-up, 1 death, many suspects. Hit publish from a library terminal, kids coloring nearby. By evening, alerts pinged, feds expanding probe, health department sniffing. Vanessa's campaign HQ, protesters outside. Called Ruiz. "I'm in. But on my terms, full immunity, kids safe." "Done," he said. Moot point in 48, storms breaking.
Storm. Yeah.
We pushed south, Virginia hills rolling green, but thunderheads gathered. Stopped at a Cracker Barrel for meatloaf and cornbread, kids giggling over checkers. Felt normal, fragile as eggshell. Then, the flip, highway patrol lights in the mirror, cherries flashing. Pulled over, hands on wheel. Trooper approached, drawl thick. "Mr. Everly?" "Ma'am, from Connecticut, custody warrant. Kids need to come with me."
"Mom."
"Vanessa." Heart iced. "They're my blood," I said, voice steel. "Warrant." He radioed, confirmed. Doors opened. Lila screamed as social worker hands reached.
Muck wailed. "Daddy."
I lunged, not violent, but desperate, grabbing Lila's arm. "Wait." Chaos. Shouts, tasers humming warning. Ruiz's voice crackled from the patrol radio. "Stand down. Federal hold. Trooper froze. Backup arrived, suits, badges gleaming FBI. Unceremonious. Kids back to me, apologies muttered. Interagency mix-up, they said. But eyes said truth. Test. Drove on shaking. Vanessa's reach, long as a noose. That night, in a safe house off the Beltway, bland apartment, stocked fridge, agents at the door, I broke. Lila tucked in, Max snoring, I sat on the balcony, city lights sprawling like veins. Dialed Vanessa's direct, hacked from her firm's directory. Everly, she answered, voice silk over razor. Predictable. Hand over the children. We can end this. End? You started it, framing me, poisoning Sarah indirect. Your sister's blood on your ledger. Laughter, brittle. Sarah was weak. Chose you over blood. Harlan was mine, our ticket up. You? Disposable.
Was.
Now you're done. Feds have it all. Pause, then flip, charm offensive. Brother, join us. 50 grand, new start. For the kids. Temptation, serpent sweet. But Sarah's eyes flashed. Calculation.
No.
But here's my deal. Confess.
Public.
Or I drop the toxin bomb. Your firm's neck deep. Silence then. You destroy the family? Family destroyed me first.
Click.
Hung up. Midterms loomed. Her campaign teetered. Next on, Ruiz briefed. Vanessa turning states, Harlan too. Full flip, implicating each other. My testimony key, but optional. Walk free, he said. Expunged. Relocation fund. Tempted. But the twist gnawed. What if I burned it hotter? Leaked the confession call. Anonymous. Polarize. Hero or homewrecker. Kids woke, demanding pancakes. I flipped them. Syrup sticky. Laughter filling the air. For them, maybe enough. But as we packed for the new adventure, my finger hovered over send. Justice or vengeance. Line blurred, American as it gets. Safe house life was a pressure cooker. Bland as Wonder Bread, but secure. Agents rotated shifts, faces blurring into suits and stubble. Kids adapted quick. Lila bossing board games. Max turning the couch into a Ford Empire. I played dad on surface. Crafts, cartoons, calls to a Andy Joe. Ruiz's cover contact. Underneath, wires pulled taut, ready to snap. Ruiz visited daily. Updates like breadcrumbs. Vanessa's crumbling. Press conference tomorrow. Stepping back from the race.
Smirked.
Blames, personal matters. Harlan singing like a canary. Details on the toxin dump. Sarah's exposure during a raid he led. Manslaughter charges pending. Manslaughter. Word hung heavy, turning breakfast cereal sour. Sarah's coughs echoed, her final rasps. Not fate, foul play, buried under badges and briefs. And me? I asked, coffee bitter.
Clean.
Testimony voluntary now. She's offering plea. Full disclosure for reduced time. Voluntary. Freedom's hook. But nights, insomnia clawed. Dreams of Sarah, spectral, accusing. You let them win, Ev. Woke sweating, checked locks twice. The call came midweek, burner to burner. Vanessa, voice cracked, not silk, raw, human. Everly. Please. The kids, Lila asked for me yesterday. At the station. Station? Custody visit, supervised. Heart twisted. You evicted me from my wife's grave. Pause, breath hitching. I was protecting her. From you, from the mess you became. Sarah told me everything. The affair, the frame. She begged me to handle it clean. Clean? You profited. Campaign cash from blood money. Defiance flared. We all did. You took the plea. Guilty, Everly. On paper, you're the crook. Flip again. Charms return. Meet me. Neutral. 1 hour, no feds. Hear my side. Trap or truth? Instinct screamed no. Curiosity, that American vice, whispered yes. Where? Old Mill, off Route 1.
Dawn.
Come alone.
Dawn. Foxrådet, poetic ashan vair flick.
I left notes for the agents. errands, slipped out pre-crack light, mill ruins, Potomac edge, rusted girders, weeds choking concrete, her Audi gleaming incongruous. She waited on a loading dock, coat belted tight, pearls swapped for a locket. Sarah's I recognized. Everly stepped forward, no embrace, space between like barbed wire. Thank you for coming. Talk. She paced, heels clicking echoes. Sarah was dying before the cancer. Miserable, trapped in that marriage, your resentment like acid. Harlan freed her, briefly. The scam? Her idea, quick cash to leave you proper. I cleaned it up. Lies. But doubt slithered. Sarah's distance, her I love you but s.
No.
Read her journal. Handed a leather book, worn, Sarah's script spilling pages. Flipped. Entries raw, unfiltered. Ev's eyes follow me like chains. Harlan ses me realises. Later. Cancer's mercy? And the farce. Final. Tell Ev I'm sorry. But not for loving better. Gutted. Knocked wind out. You poisoned her. Negligence. Harlan's raid. Faulty intel from my firm. Cover up to protect the city, not us. I hated it. Fought her on exposure. She chose silence for the kids.
Choice.
Sarah's calculus, always. Why frame me?
Pity.
And necessity. You wouldn't let go. Stalked Harlan. Threatened exposure. We had to neutralize. Stalked? Memory flickered. Post-affair. I'd tailed him once. Rage-blind. But backed off. Embellished? Or buried truth?
Why now?
The meeting. Eyes met, steel to steel. Because you're right, we destroyed you.
But the kids.
They're innocent. Let me help. Joint custody, new house in my name. You vanish, clean break. Or testify, and they grow up orphans, your face on true crime docs. Orphaned. Word weaponized. Kids' faces flashing. Flip. Villain to savior? And Harlan. Cut loose. He's the weak link flipping on me already. Sacrifice him. We rebuild.
We.
As if blood tied us. But the journal burned in my pocket. Sarah's words venom. Walked the dock, river murmuring below. Fog lifting to reveal her desperation. Cracks in the armor. Decision, she pressed.
Twist.
Pulled the recorder from my jacket, tiny, clipped pre-dawn. This? Your confession. On tape. Horror bloomed. You. Insurance. American ingenuity. Testify with me, or this goes viral. Your choice. Rage twisted her face. Beautiful. Ugly. Monster. Like Sarah said. Lunged. Not for me, but the locket. Ripping it free. Inside. Photo. Tiny. Sarah. Vanessa. Young. Arms linked. She loved me more, she spat. Always would have. Drove back. Journal heavy as lead. Agents waited. Arms crossed. Field trip over?
Ruiz whipped.
Productive. Handed the tape. Vanessa's done. By noon, arrests. Her in cuffs at the mill. My anonymous tip to feds. Coordinates exact. Harlan next, double-cross exposed. Edlan screamed. Da opeful, copin scandalos bast, affair, fraud, cover-up. Testimony? I gave it. Stand cold under fluorescence. Courtroom packed. Reporters. Family remnants. Vanessa's parents ashen. Kids in back with a sitter. Drawing oblivious. Words flowed steady. The frame, the affair, the toxins, Sarah's secrets. Vanessa glared from defense table, Harlan avoiding eyes. Judge's gavel fell. Indictments. Trials pending.
But the twist? Post testimony, Ruiz pulled me aside.
One more thing. Sarah's journal. We authenticated. But entries? Inconsistent ink. Dates off. Vanessa forged half. Forged. To break me. Sarah's love? Real or illusion? Doubt eternal. Debate fodder for therapy couches. We relocated. Portland, Oregon. Rain-soaked reinvention. New names. Ellis family. I coded freelance. Kids thrived. Lila in art class. Max soccer star. Dates came slow. A barista with tattoos and trust issues. Normalcy. earned hard. Years on, a letter arrived, Vanessa's from prison. You won, Everly. But Sarah? She'd hate the man you became, vengeful, cold. Enclosed, real journal pages, her true words. Ev's my anchor. Forgive the storm, hold the shore. Tears then, first in ages. Happy ending? Or tragic echo? You decide.
Me?
I burned the pages, scattered ashes in the Willamette. Kids laughed in the yard, alive. Enough. But sometimes in quiet I wonder, was revenge justice or just another frame? Portland suited us like a worn flannel, cozy, unpretentious, fog rolling off the river like forgotten sins. The relocation package stretched. Modest craftsman bungalow in Selwood, yard with a swing set that creaked lullabies. I picked up Python gigs for startups, debugging apps over Zoom from a corner desk overlooking maples turning crimson. Lila, now 12, channeled Sarah into sketches, bold lines, fierce colors, winning ribbons at the county fair. Max, 9, channeled me, building robots from kits, his grin crooked as ever when they sparked to life. Surface, healed. Therapy twice monthly, group for relocated families, where I spun yarns of corporate burnout instead of cop conspiracies. Dates? Sparse, a brewer with a beard and bad jokes, fizzled after she Googled my old name. But nights alone. The ghosts convened, Sarah's laugh echoing off cedar walls, Vanessa's glare from a mugshot I'd clipped, Harlan's silence from a cell. The trial-dominated feeds those first months, virtual, COVID hangover lingering even in 23. I testified remote, laptop glow harsh on my face as lawyers probed. Mr. Ellis, formerly Everly, did you knowingly participate in the fraud? Defense attorney, slick as oil, twisting my plea into complicity. Knew? After. Participated? To protect my family. Voice steady, but palms slick. Cross-exam. And the affair, you walked in. Rage makes men do foolish things. Threats? None. Lie by omission. That tail job, Harlan's panicked call post-walk-in. Back off, or the kids suffer. Buried deep. Jury deliberated 3 days. Verdicts dropped like guillotines. Harlan, 20 years, manslaughter plus fraud, his flips earning no mercy. Vanessa, 15, conspiracy, obstruction, her campaign a racket per the judge, pearls sold at auction for restitution. Her parents disowned public, but private letters begged visits, denied.
Me?
Expunged clean, sealed records. Ruiz called post-sentencing. You did good, man. Kids' college funds, courtesy Uncle Sam. Hung up laughing, his mustache, I imagined, twitching triumph. But victory soured subtle. Lila found the clipping, me in suit. Headline, whistleblower dad exposes scandal. Daddy, were you bad? Eyes, Sarah's mirrors probing. Tough times, kid. Made better choices. Hugged her tight, but questions lingered. School counselor notes. Adjustment issues. Parental separation anxiety. Max punched a kid over liar taunts. My old rep leaked somehow. Then the approaches. First, podcast producer. Dark suburbs vibe. Your story, raw, controversial. Hero or anti-hero?
Listeners decide.
Turn down, spotlight's poison. Second, book agent, advance fat. Memoir, betrayal to breakthrough. Tempted, kids tuition my ego. Drafted chapters nights, words pouring. The walk-in, the plea, the funeral hiss. But reading back, villainy everywhere. Me, scheming leaks. Sarah, flawed fire. Vanessa, ambitious ice, no saints. Third, Harlan. Letter from Sing Sing, scrawled shaky. Everly owed this. The tale? You saw me with V, not S.
First time.
She set the trap, planted the emails, coached Sarah's confession. Your plea? Her insurance, you guilty, divorce easy. Postscript. Forgive?
Nah.
But truth's my last flip.
Truth.
Slippery as Willamette eels. Confronted Ruiz. Harlan's tale verify.
Sigh.
Partial. Vanessa orchestrated deep. PI on you pre-arrest, docs faked. But Sarah?
Complicit till end.
Loved you, hated the cage. Cancer forced clarity, her will hidden clause. House to you, not estate. Vanessa forged addendum post-death. Forged will. The eviction? Theft, legal slight. Rage reignited. Banked coals flaring. Dug public records. Vanessa's appeal, pending, claiming undue influence from me, the unstable widower. Unstable, echoed her doc whisper. Phone my lawyer, pro bono from the fund. Counterfile. Expose the forgery. Trials within trials. Media circus reignited. Scandal sequel. Widower sues for inheritance. Pundits polarized. Fox called me vindictive gold digger. MSNBC. Justice warrior.
Online?
Threads erupted. Reddit r/true crime. Everly's the real villain. Used kids as pawns. r/the asshole. ATA for ruining my SIL's life after she ruined mine. Chia Fee, as promised. Friends divided. Old college buds ghosted. New Portland crew. Wary but loyal. Kids felt it. Lila's sleepovers canceled. Whispers at soccer. Your dad's the bad guy. A teammate sneered. Max's robot arm snapped in retaliation. I doubled therapy. Meds for the insomnia. Zoloft dulling edges. But the high road cracked. Anonymous drops. USB to a blogger. Vanessa's prison calls. Her plotting appeals. Smearing me as abuser. Leaked. Viral. Her lawyer cried foul. Judge sanctioned. Climax brewed in a hearing room. Baltimore. Neutral. Hybrid. Vanessa via video. Orange jumpsuit clashing pearls she'd smuggled. Me in person. Suit crisp. Kids waiting outside with guards. Her eyes met mine, no steel, defeat, or ploy. Mr. Everly, she started, voice amplified. You seek the house, symbolic now, raised for condos. But admit, your leaks prolong this. Vengeance, not justice. Justice delayed by your lies. Presented evidence. Will forensics, Harlan's vetted letter. Judge nodded, gavel poised. Her flip, final. Sarah wanted you free. Not this. Tears? Real or Oscar bait?
Take it.
But the kids, let them visit. Aunt Van, remember? Lila's drawings, once taped to her fridge. Temptation's hook.
Decide later.
Ruling, my favor. House proceeds, 6 figures, split with estate, but control mine. Vanessa's appeal denied. Sentence stands. Drove home, rain sheeting windshield, kids chattering over Dairy Queen spoils. Did we win, Daddy? Sort of. But victory hollow, echo chamber. Twist landed months later. DNA test, curiosity's curse.
Male discrete Max S. Swab. Mine.
Results. 99.7% match. But Lila's? 52%. Harlan. Sarah's secret. Deepest cut. Journal true. Partial. She'd known. Post-affair flings. Chose silence for stability.
Me? Patsy to the end.
Confronted her ghost in the garden. Ashes scattered anew.
Why?
Wind whispered nothing.
Ending? Nota y dibao.
Lila met Harlan once. Prison glass between. Awkward waves, no bond. Vanessa? Letters sporadic. And to Lila's art. I dated steady. A teacher, kind eyes, no skeletons. Happy?
Betragits?
Debated it over beers with Ruiz, visiting once. You polarized him good, he grinned. Hero to some, heel to others.
Me?
Survivor. Flawed American. And free, mostly. But freedom's price. Questions eternal. Was the revenge worth the rot? You tell me. Years blurred in Portland's drizzle, seasons cycling like a well-oiled grief machine. The money from the house settled us. College funds ballooned. A used Subaru in the drive. Vacations to Yellowstone where geysers erupted cathartic. I wrote the book. Self-published, no agent fanfare. Buried lies, a widow, RS reckoning. Sold modest, reviews split. Gripping, unflinching versus self-pitying screed. Cash trickled, therapy paid. Lila bloomed thorny, teen now, 16, curls tamed into braids, activism her fire. Protests for climate, BLM banners in her room. Mom would approve, she'd say, eyes challenging. We clashed, my caution versus her blaze. You hid from the world, Dad. Don't cage me. Max, 13, quieter storm, hacking classes, building drones that spied on squirrels. Like you, Ev, code as weapon. Grinned, but shadows lingered. Therapy for anger, punches traded at school over. Your dad's scandal. Family? Fractured mosaic. Visits to Vanessa, twice yearly, medium security upstate, her cell block walks measured. First time, Lila clutched my hand. Now, she goes solo, returns with sketches of Aunt V's tattoos, prison art. Vanessa softened or performed. Tell your father I'm proud. Of you both.
Proud.
Word barbed. Harlan? Dead, overdose in 24, heroin cut with fent, whispers of suicide. No tears from me. Closure's cold math. His letter, framed in my desk drawer. Truth's last gift, or poison pen. The barista, Jess, stuck. Moved in slow, her Inca map of old heartbreaks. Nights tangled, her head on my chest. Your story. Heavy. Shared chapters. She listened, no judgment. Flawed people, flawed choices. You're here now. Here. But echoes pursued. Podcast invite resurfaced. Everly unfiltered. 5 years on. Declined, then relented. Kids college loomed. Exposure be damned. Studio in Seattle. Mic's hot. Host probing. Regrets? The leaks, were they too far? Pause, air thick. Every action ripples. Mine drowned some. Saved others. Sarah? She'd say burn it down. Laughter, bitter. But she'd be wrong. Kids paid most. Airwaves crackled post-show. Hate mail, killer enabler, fan notes, inspiration. Polarized still. X-threads debating. Everly's revenge porn for the soul versus abused the system, dodged real jail. Jess grounded. Ignore. Write the sequel. Redemption arc. Sequel? Tempted. Outlines nights. Lila's awakening. Discovering the DNA, letter-eyed hidden. Confrontation imagined. Harlan? Does it change us? Her fire? No. Your dad. But truth's twist waited, unscripted. Fall 29. Lila's senior year. College apps out. Early acceptances glowing. Package arrived. Unmarked. Postmark Elmwood. Inside. Envelope. Sarah's script. Aged. Fragile.
Dad.
Lila found me staring. Kitchen island cluttered. What's wrong? Old ghosts. Handed it over.
Mom's.
For you, 18th. She read silent. Face cycling shock to steel. Contents. Letter, undated. Lila bug, if you're reading, I'm gone. Truths too heavy for life. Your bio dad's H, not E, chose him for fire, but Everly for hearth. Don't hate. Love double. Yours, Mom. Tears tracked. She hugged fierce. Doesn't change shit, but it did. Called Max in. Family huddle. Words tumbling. Jess mediated, her calm anchor. Secrets suck. But family's chosen. Vanessa? Lila visited next week. Read aloud over glass. Aunt's reaction. Laugh, wry. Sarah's chaos to the end. Tell Everly. Truce. Truce. Dialed her collect, first time. Voice tinny. Brother-in-law.
Van. Pause.
The letter, Lila knows. Silence then. Good. She deserves. And you? Still scheming.
No.
Healing maybe. American therapy speak. Join the club. Out in 2. Good behavior. Visit. With the kids. Yeah. Hung up, weight lifting fractional. Jess and I walked the bridge that night. City lights fractal on water. Twists kind, she said. Sparks debate, but closes loops.
Debate.
Yeah, the final one internal. Revenge's arc. Started hot, ended ash. Shocked everyone? Sure. Family fractured then fused. Villains humanized, hero humbled. No one's all right, all wrong. Just surviving, flawed as the flag. Ending? Open, optimistic by tragic. Kids launched, Lila to RSD, art major. Max MIT bound, robotics whiz. Jess and I, rings exchanged quiet, backyard vows under maples. To messy seconds she toasted.
Me?
Everly Ellis, whatever. Code runs clean now, ghosts quiet. But if you ask, was it worth it? I'd say, in the ashes we rebuilt. Shocking? Only if you expected fairy tales. America's no place for those.